The sirens blared across Earth as a massive alien fleet entered the solar system, broadcasting a declaration of war against humanity. The Tellarite Armada, led by Supreme Commander Pixis, took position in Earth's orbit, their ships casting ominous shadows over the planet below. World leaders convened an emergency meeting to address the unprecedented threat. Military forces worldwide were placed on high alert, and civilian populations were urged to seek shelter. Panic spread like wildfire as news of the impending invasion reached every corner of the globe. In a secret underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Elena Reeves, head of Project Sleeper, initiated emergency protocols. Her hands moved swiftly over the control panel, activating the revival process for the cryogenically preserved elite soldiers. The first pod hissed open, revealing Jacob Hunter, a decorated Special Forces operative who had been in cryosleep for 50 years. As Hunter's eyes fluttered open, Dr. Reeves approached his pod. "Welcome back, Sergeant Hunter. I'm afraid we've awakened you under dire circumstances." She helped him sit up, his muscles weak from decades of inactivity. "Earth is under attack. An alien race called the Tellarites has declared war on us." Hunter's mind raced to process the information as Dr. Reeves continued her briefing. She explained the technological advancements made during his cryosleep, including quantum computing, fusion energy, and advanced materials science. These developments had caught the attention of the Tellarites, whose long-range sensors had detected Earth's rapid progress. Meanwhile, aboard the Tellarite flagship, Supreme Commander Pixis issued an ultimatum to Earth's leaders: surrender within 24 hours or face annihilation. The alien commander's voice boomed through communication channels worldwide, striking fear into the hearts of billions. Back in the underground facility, Hunter stood on shaky legs, determination etched on his face. Dr. Reeves led him to an armory filled with weapons that seemed straight out of science fiction. "These were developed using knowledge gained from previous alien encounters," she explained, handing him a sleek rifle. "Your mission is to assemble a team of fellow cryo soldiers and mount a defense against the invasion." As the countdown to the Tellarites' deadline began, Hunter familiarized himself with the advanced weaponry. The weight of humanity's fate rested on his shoulders, and those of his yet-to-be-awakened comrades. Outside, the world he once knew had changed dramatically, but the core of human resilience remained. In orbit, the Tellarite ships loomed, their superior technology a formidable threat. Yet they had underestimated humanity's secret weapon, soldiers from the past, trained in warfare and adaptability, now armed with the most advanced human technology. As more cryopods opened and soldiers awakened, Hunter began to form his strategy. The facility buzzed with activity as the newly revived troops were briefed and equipped. Time was running out, but hope began to flicker in the underground bunker. The stage was set for an intense conflict between the technologically superior Tellarites and the resourceful human defenders led by the newly awakened Jacob Hunter. As Earth's last line of defense prepared for battle, the question remained: could these soldiers from the past save humanity's future? As the clock ticked down on the Tellarites' ultimatum, the underground facility hummed with frantic activity. Jacob Hunter, his muscles still aching from cryosleep, stood at the center of the controlled chaos. Dr. Elena Reeves approached him, her face etched with concern. "Sergeant Hunter, we've identified 4 other elite operatives to form your team," she said, handing him a tablet. "They're being revived as we speak." Hunter scanned the profiles: Marcus Rodriguez, explosives expert; Aiden Chen, tech specialist; Kate Thompson, sniper; and Dr. James Sullivan, combat medic. Each face bore the same determined expression he'd seen in countless soldiers throughout his career. As the newly awakened operatives stumbled from their cryopods, Hunter addressed them. "I know you're disoriented, but we don't have time for a gentle reintroduction. Earth is under attack, and we're humanity's last hope." The team gathered around a holographic display of the Tellarite fleet. Dr. Reeves explained the situation, her voice steady despite the gravity of her words. "Our conventional forces are no match for their technology. We need to level the playing field." Chen, his mind already racing with possibilities, spoke up. "What about our own tech advancements? Anything we can use against them?" Dr. Reeves nodded, leading the team to an adjacent lab. We've developed prototype personal shield generators and plasma-based weapons. They're untested in combat, but they're our best shot. As the team familiarized themselves with the new equipment, alarms blared throughout the facility. Dr. Reeves rushed to a nearby console, her face paling at the incoming data. "The Tellarites have begun their assault," she announced, her voice barely audible over the sirens. "Military installations worldwide are under heavy fire." Hunter's team watched in horror as holographic representations of major cities crumbled under the alien onslaught. The weight of their mission pressed down on them like a physical force. "We need to move now," Hunter ordered, his voice cutting through the shock. "Dr. Reeves, what's our play?" She pulled up schematics of the Tellarite flagship. "We've identified a potential weakness. If you can infiltrate the ship and disable its shields, our remaining forces might have a chance." Rodriguez grinned, hefting a sleek, high-tech explosive device. "Sounds like my kind of party." Within minutes, the team was aboard a small, cloaked shuttle launching from the secret facility. As they approached the Tellarite fleet, the true scale of the destruction became apparent. Plumes of smoke rose from the ruins of once great cities, and the sky was alight with anti-aircraft fire that proved useless against the alien shields. Chen worked the shuttle's controls, his brow furrowed in concentration. "Their sensor grid is incredibly advanced, but I think I've found a blind spot. Approaching now." The shuttle glided silently through space, the looming bulk of the Tellarite flagship growing larger by the second. Hunter felt a bead of sweat roll down his neck, the enormity of their task setting in. "There," Thompson said, pointing to a section of the hull. "That looks like an access point." Hunter nodded. "Good eye. Everyone, check your gear. We're going for a walk." The team donned their spacesuits, each equipped with the experimental shield generators. As the airlock cycled, Hunter took a deep breath, steeling himself for what was to come. They emerged into the void, magnetic boots securing them to the alien vessel's surface. The flagship stretched out before them, a city-sized monstrosity of gleaming metal and pulsing energy conduits. Chen worked quickly, interfacing his equipment with the alien systems. "I'm into their network, but I don't know how long I can stay hidden. We need to move fast." Suddenly, a hatch not 50 meters from their position slid open. A group of Tellarite soldiers emerged, their insectoid bodies encased in sleek armor. "Contact!" Thompson hissed, her rifle already shouldered. The vacuum of space erupted in silent violence. Plasma bolts from the human weapons met the Tellarites' energy beams, creating a deadly light show against the backdrop of stars. "Our shields are holding," Sullivan reported, monitoring the team's vital signs. "But they're draining fast." Rodriguez planted a shaped charge on the hull. "Fire in the hole!" The explosion was soundless but powerful, ripping a hole in the alien ship's outer layer. The team piled through the breach, their shield generators flickering and dying as they entered the pressurized interior. Inside, alert klaxons wailed. Hunter quickly assessed their situation. "We stick to the plan. Rodriguez, Chen, find the power core and disable those shields. Thompson, you're with me. We're heading for the bridge. Sullivan, secure our exit and be ready for casualties." The team split up, each group sprinting down different corridors. Hunter and Thompson encountered heavy resistance, Tellarite soldiers swarming from every junction. "These bastards are tough!" Thompson shouted over the din of battle, her plasma rifle leaving scorch marks on the alien walls. Hunter grunted in agreement, ducking under an energy blast that would have taken his head off. "Keep pushing. We need to reach Pixis." Meanwhile, Rodriguez and Chen fought their way towards the ship's core, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. They finally reached a massive chamber, housing the pulsing heart of the Tellarite vessel. Chen's face fell as he analyzed the systems. "This is bad. We need to trigger a simultaneous override at multiple stations. There's no way to do it remotely." Rodriguez understood the implication immediately. "So one of us at each station. No way to get out in time." They shared a look, years of training and the weight of humanity's survival evident in their eyes. Without another word, they moved to opposite ends of the chamber, beginning the delicate process of sabotaging the alien technology. Back on Earth, Dr. Reeves monitored the team's neural links with growing apprehension. The Tellarite communications she intercepted painted a grim picture. A final, overwhelming assault was imminent. Her fingers hovered over the controls for the remaining cryopods. Activating them now, without proper awakening protocols, could be disastrous. But as she watched the alien fleet maneuver into attack formation, she realized they were out of options. "Forgive me," she whispered, and initiated the emergency revival sequence. Aboard the flagship, Hunter and Thompson fought their way ever closer to the bridge, leaving a wake of fallen Tellarites behind them. The alien vessel shuddered, and Hunter's comm crackled to life. "Hunter, it's Rodriguez. We've reached the core, but—" Static interrupted the transmission. "One-way trip. Tell our families." The signal cut out, leaving Hunter with a hollow feeling in his chest. He pushed it aside, focusing on the mission at hand. The bridge doors loomed before them, the final obstacle between humanity and a fighting chance. As Hunter prepared to breach the command center, a deafening explosion rocked the ship. The lights flickered, and he felt a subtle shift in the ambient energy. "The shields," Thompson breathed. "They did it." Hunter nodded grimly. "Then let's make sure their sacrifice wasn't in vain." They burst onto the bridge, weapons blazing, ready to confront Supreme Commander Pixis and turn the tide of the invasion. But as the smoke cleared, they realized the battle was not nearly finished. Over. The scene before them was one of organized chaos, with Tellarite officers scrambling to respond to the sudden intrusion. Supreme Commander Pixis stood at the center of the bridge, his insectoid form towering over the surrounding crew. His compound eyes locked onto Hunter and Thompson, mandibles clicking in what could only be interpreted as anger. "So the primitives have made it this far," Pixis hissed, his voice translator giving an eerie quality to his words. "Impressive, but futile." Hunter raised his plasma rifle, keeping it trained on the alien commander. "It's over, Pixis. Order your fleet to stand down." A harsh, clicking sound emanated from the Tellarite leader. Laughter, Hunter realized. "You have no idea what you're dealing with, human." Before Hunter could respond, a group of Tellarite soldiers burst through a side entrance, their energy weapons already firing. Thompson reacted instantly, her enhanced reflexes allowing her to dive for cover while returning fire. "Hunter, watch your six!" she shouted, her plasma bolts finding their mark and dropping two of the alien warriors. Hunter rolled behind a console, narrowly avoiding a barrage of energy blasts. He popped up, firing quick bursts at the incoming Tellarites. The advanced weaponry proved effective, punching through the aliens' armor with searing efficiency. As the firefight intensified, Hunter's comm crackled to life. Rodriguez's voice came through, strained and filled with static. "Hunter, it's Rodriguez. We've reached the core, but—" The transmission cut out momentarily. "One-way trip. Tell our families." The comm went dead, leaving Hunter with a hollow feeling in his chest. He pushed aside the emotion, knowing there would be time to mourn later, if they survived. "Thompson, cover me!" Hunter called out, making a dash towards Pixis. The sniper responded immediately, laying down a withering barrage of plasma fire that forced the remaining Tellarite soldiers to take cover. Hunter closed the distance to Pixis, engaging the alien commander in close-quarters combat. Pixis was incredibly strong, his exoskeleton providing natural armor. Hunter's enhanced physique allowed him to match the alien's strength, but only barely. They exchanged a flurry of blows, each seeking to gain the upper hand. As they grappled, the ship shuddered violently. The ambient hum of energy that had permeated the vessel suddenly changed pitch. "The shields," Thompson called out, her voice filled with a mix of triumph and sorrow. "They did it." Hunter used the momentary distraction to his advantage, executing a complex takedown maneuver that sent Pixis crashing to the deck. In one fluid motion, he disarmed the alien commander and pressed his plasma rifle against Pixis's head. "Order the ceasefire," Hunter demanded, his voice cold and unyielding. "Now!" Pixis's compound eyes seemed to narrow, if such a thing were possible. "You may have won this battle, human, but you have no idea of the forces you've provoked." "What are you talking about?" Hunter pressed the weapon harder against the alien's carapace. "This fleet? Merely a test, a vanguard." Pixis's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. The real invasion is yet to come. Hunter's blood ran cold as the implication set in. He keyed his comm, connecting to Dr. Reeves back on Earth. "Doc, are you getting this?" "Affirmative, Sergeant." Reeves's voice came through, tense and focused. "We've been monitoring. The situation has escalated. I've initiated emergency revival protocols for all remaining Cryo soldiers." As if to underscore the gravity of the situation, the ship's external view screens flickered to life. The sight that greeted them was apocalyptic. Massive energy beams lanced down from the Tellarite fleet, striking Earth with devastating force. Entire cities vanished in blinding flashes of light, while the planet's atmosphere seemed to boil under the onslaught. "My God," Thompson breathed, momentarily lowering her weapon in shock. Hunter's mind raced, processing the new information and formulating a plan. He turned back to Pixis, his grip on the alien commander tightening. "You're going to give us control of this ship." Pixis's laughter filled the bridge. "And why would I do that, human?" "Because if you don't, I'll space every Tellarite on this vessel, starting with you," Hunter growled, his voice leaving no doubt as to his sincerity. Before Pixis could respond, Hunter's comm crackled again. This time it was Chen's voice that came through, weak and filled with pain. "Hunter, Rodriguez, he's gone. Shields are down, but radiation levels critical. We're trying to make it back." Hunter closed his eyes for a brief moment, allowing himself a second of grief for his fallen comrade. When he opened them again, they were filled with cold dedication. "Thompson," he called out, not taking his eyes off Pixis, "get our guest to the shuttle. We're taking him with us." "What about you?" Thompson asked, already moving to secure the alien commander. Hunter's gaze swept over the bridge, taking in the advanced alien technology surrounding them. "I'm staying here. We need this ship if we're going to have any chance against what's coming." Thompson's eyes widened in realization. "Hunter, that's suicide. You can't possibly—" "That's an order, Specialist." Hunter cut her off, his tone brooking no argument. "Get Pixis to Earth. They'll need the intel he can provide." As Thompson began to escort the captured Pixis off the bridge, Hunter turned his attention to the ship's controls. The alien interfaces were complex, but not incomprehensible. His enhanced mind, coupled with the neural link to Earth's databases, allowed him to begin deciphering the systems. "Dr. Reeves," he called over the comm, "I'm going to need every scrap of data we have on Tellarite technology, and get me whoever's in charge of our defense now." "Patching you through to Colonel Graves," Reeves replied. "He's coordinating our counteroffensive." A new voice came over the comm, crisp and authoritative. "Sergeant Hunter, this is Colonel Graves. What's your status?" "Sir, I've taken control of the Tellarite flagship," Hunter reported, his fingers flying over the alien controls as he spoke. "Requesting targeting data for their fleet. We're about to turn their own weapons against them." As Hunter worked to master the alien warship, he could see Earth's forces rallying on the interfaces. The awakened Cryo soldiers, armed with humanity's most advanced weapons, were turning the tide of the ground battle. In orbit, Earth's remaining military assets began a coordinated assault on the Tellarite fleet, their tactics clearly guided by a master strategist. Hunter allowed himself a grim smile as he brought the flagship's main weapons online. The real war was yet to come, but humanity would not go quietly into the night. As the ship's energy cannons charged, Hunter set his sights on the nearest Tellarite cruiser. "Let's give these bastards a taste of their own medicine," he muttered, and fired. Fired. The Tellarite cruiser's shields flared briefly before collapsing under the onslaught of its own weaponry. Hunter allowed himself a grim smile as he watched the enemy vessel break apart, debris scattering across the starfield. "Direct hit confirmed," he reported to Colonel Graves. "Moving on to the next target." As Hunter navigated the complex alien interfaces, his enhanced mind processed the flood of information. Targeting systems, power distribution, shield harmonics. It all began to make sense. He felt the massive ship respond to his commands, becoming an extension of his will. On the tactical display, Hunter watched as Earth's military assets rallied. Sleek fighters darted between the lumbering Tellarite ships, their weapons finding weak points with surgical precision. Larger vessels, clearly of human design but incorporating alien technology, moved into formation to engage the invaders. "Colonel, our counteroffensive is gaining momentum," Hunter said, his fingers dancing across the alien controls. "But we need to press our advantage. I'm detecting a surge of energy from the remaining Tellarite ships. They may be preparing to—" His words were cut off as the enemy fleet suddenly accelerated, breaking away from Earth orbit. Hunter's brow furrowed as he analyzed their trajectory. "Sir, they're retreating," he reported, unable to keep the surprise from his voice. Colonel Graves's response was immediate. "Don't let them regroup, Hunter. Use that ship to harry their flank. We'll coordinate our forces to cut off their escape routes." "Understood, sir," Hunter acknowledged, already plotting an intercept course. As the captured flagship surged forward, Hunter's mind raced. The Tellarites' sudden withdrawal didn't fit their previous tactics. Something had changed. But what? His musings were interrupted by an incoming transmission. "Hunter, this is Thompson. We've secured Pixis and are en route to Earth. Chen's got some intel you need to hear." Hunter activated the comlink, keeping one eye on the tactical display. "Go ahead, Chen. What have you got?" Chen's voice came through, tense but controlled. "Sir, Pixis let slip some crucial information during interrogation. This fleet we've been fighting? It's just the vanguard. The main invasion force is on its way, and it's massive." Hunter felt his stomach drop. "How massive?" "Thousands of ships, sir. Maybe tens of thousands. Pixis wasn't exactly forthcoming with details, but it's clear we've only seen the tip of the iceberg." Hunter's mind whirled with the implications. Earth had barely survived this initial assault. How could they hope to repel a force of that magnitude? "Colonel Graves, are you getting this?" Hunter asked, his voice tight. "Affirmative, Sergeant," Graves replied. "We're already formulating a response. Dr. Reeves is accelerating the awakening of our remaining cryo soldiers. Every resource we have is being mobilized." As if on cue, Hunter's long-range sensors lit up with new contacts. His heart sank as he saw the sheer number of incoming ships. But something was off about their energy signatures. They didn't match the Tellarite profiles he'd become familiar with. Before he could report this anomaly, a new voice cut across all frequencies. The language was unfamiliar, but Hunter's neural link quickly provided a translation. "Humanity, we come as allies against the Tellarite Dominion. We are the Astrian Collective, and we offer our assistance in your fight for survival." The bridge of the Tellarite flagship fell silent as Hunter processed this unexpected development. Allies? After everything humanity had endured, could they trust another alien race? "Colonel," Hunter said, breaking the silence, "what are your orders?" Graves' response was measured. "Stand by, Sergeant. We're convening an emergency session with Earth's leaders to assess this situation. In the meantime, maintain your current position and continue monitoring both the Tellarite and Astrian fleets. Report any aggressive moves immediately." "Understood, sir," Hunter replied, his fingers hovering over the weapons controls. Trust didn't come easily after what they'd been through, and he wasn't about to let his guard down. As he waited for further instructions, Hunter's mind turned to the daring plan he'd been formulating. With control of a Tellarite flagship, they had an unprecedented opportunity to infiltrate the heart of the incoming invasion force. It was risky, potentially suicidal, but it might be their best chance at turning the tide. He opened a secure channel to Colonel Graves. "Sir, I have a proposal. It's unorthodox, but given our situation, I believe it's worth considering." As Hunter outlined his plan, he could almost hear the gears turning in Graves's mind. The idea of using the captured ship as a Trojan horse was audacious, but in the face of overwhelming odds, audacity might be their only hope. "It's a hell of a risk, Sergeant," Graves said after Hunter finished. "But you're right. We need every advantage we can get. I'll assemble a volunteer task force to join you. In the meantime, continue your current mission and prepare the ship for potential infiltration." "Yes, sir," Hunter acknowledged, a mix of anticipation and apprehension coursing through him. As he worked to master more of the ship's systems, Hunter's thoughts turned to his team. Thompson and Chen escorting the captured Pixis, Sullivan tending to the critically wounded Rodriguez. They'd already sacrificed so much, and now he was proposing a mission that might demand the ultimate price. But as he looked at the tactical display, watching the massive Tellarite invasion force draw ever closer, Hunter knew they had no choice. Earth's survival hung by a thread, and he was holding one of the few weapons that might make a difference. With renewed perseverance, Hunter began to reconfigure the ship's systems, erasing any trace of their recent takeover. If they were going to pull off this infiltration, every detail had to be perfect. As he worked, the comm system crackled to life once more. "Sergeant Hunter, this is Dr. Reeves. We've completed the emergency revival of the remaining Cryo soldiers. They're being briefed and equipped as we speak." "Understood, Doctor," Hunter replied. "Any word on Rodriguez's condition?" There was a brief pause before Reeves answered, her voice heavy. "He's stable for now, but his injuries are severe. We're doing everything we can, but—" She didn't need to finish the sentence. Hunter knew the odds. He pushed down the surge of emotion, focusing instead on the task at hand. There would be time for grief later, if they survived. "Keep me updated," he said simply, returning his attention to the ship's controls. As Earth's defenses mobilized and diplomats wrestled with the question of the Astrian offer, Hunter prepared for what might be humanity's most daring gambit yet. The captured Tellarite flagship hummed with power, ready to carry him and a hand-picked team into the heart of the enemy armada. The real battle, Hunter knew, was just beginning. But this time, humanity wouldn't be caught unprepared. This time, they had a plan. As the captured Tellarite flagship surged forward, Hunter's neural link pinged with an incoming transmission. Earth's leaders had reached a decision. "Sergeant Hunter, this is Colonel Graves. We're proceeding with your infiltration plan, but with a twist. The Astrian offer has been accepted under strict conditions. You'll be joined by a team of their specialists. Coordinates for rendezvous are being transmitted now." Hunter's eyes narrowed as he processed this new information. "Understood, sir. How do we know we can trust them?" "We don't," Graves replied bluntly. "But we need their tech and intel if we're going to pull this off. Keep your guard up, but work with them. Earth's survival depends on it." As the communication ended, Hunter began maneuvering the massive ship towards the designated coordinates. Within minutes, a sleek vessel of unmistakably alien design appeared alongside them. Its hull seemed to shimmer, as if not quite solid. A small team of Astrians transported directly onto the bridge, their forms coalescing from swirling light. Hunter tensed, his hand instinctively moving towards his weapon. The lead Astrian, a tall, slender being with iridescent skin, raised its hands in a gesture of peace. "I am Zara, tactical specialist. We come to aid your mission, Sergeant Hunter." Hunter nodded curtly, his enhanced senses on high alert. "Welcome aboard. I hope you're ready for a fight." As the combined human and Astrian team prepared for their daring infiltration, Earth's defenses mobilized. Colonel Graves coordinated a multi-pronged strategy, with Astrian ships engaging the outer edges of the approaching Tellarite armada, while Earth's forces launched hit-and-run attacks to divide the enemy's attention. Hunter watched the tactical display, his mind racing as he integrated the Astrian tech with the Tellarite systems. Zara worked beside him, her six-fingered hands dancing over the controls with inhuman speed. "We're approaching the invasion force," Hunter announced, activating stealth systems. The ship shuddered slightly as Astrian technology enveloped it, projecting false sensor readings that made them appear as a victorious Tellarite vessel returning to the fleet. As they penetrated deeper into enemy territory, Hunter felt his pulse quicken. The sheer number of Tellarite ships was staggering, far beyond anything Earth had faced before. But now, they had a chance. "There," Zara pointed, her voice a melodic whisper. "The command ship. Its energy signature is unmistakable." Hunter nodded, guiding their vessel towards the massive Tellarite flagship. As they approached, he opened a channel to his team. "This is it. Remember your training and trust your instincts. We take that ship, we end this war." The docking procedure was tense, every moment fraught with the possibility of discovery. But Pixis's command codes held true, and soon they were safely latched onto the gargantuan vessel. "Boarding team, move out," Hunter ordered, hefting his weapon. They burst from the airlock, a perfectly choreographed dance of destruction. Human cryo soldiers moved with enhanced speed and strength, while Astrian specialists wielded technology that seemed to defy physics. Tellarite defenders fell before their combined might. Hunter led the charge, his reflexes allowing him to anticipate and counter every Tellarite move. He ducked under a plasma blast, rolled, and came up firing. 3 Tellarites dropped before they could even register his presence. Beside him, Zara moved like liquid light, her body phasing through solid matter to outflank the enemy. Her touch alone seemed to short-circuit Tellarite tech, leaving them defenseless. As they fought their way deeper into the ship, Hunter's comm crackled to life. "Hunter, this is Dr. Reeves. We've had a breakthrough. The Astrian biotech, it's allowed us to safely awaken all remaining cryo soldiers. They're deploying now." Hunter allowed himself a grim smile as he disabled another Tellarite warrior. "Copy that, Doctor. Looks like the odds just shifted in our favor." The team battled on, corridor by corridor, deck by deck. The Tellarites fought with desperate ferocity, but they were outmatched by the perfect synergy of human and Astrian combat styles. Finally, they reached the central control room. The doors were sealed, guarded by a phalanx of elite Tellarite warriors. Hunter assessed the situation in microseconds. "Zara, can you phase through and disrupt their systems?" The Astrian nodded, her form already beginning to shimmer. "Cover me." Hunter and his team unleashed a barrage of fire, forcing the Tellarites into defensive positions. In the chaos, Zara slipped through the solid metal door. Moments later, alarms blared as the ship's systems went haywire. The doors slid open. "Now!" Hunter roared, leading the charge into the command center. The room was vast, filled with holographic displays showing the raging battle outside. And there, at the center, stood the Tellarite Grand Admiral, his massive form encased in ornate battle armor. "So," the alien leader growled, "the mammals have learned new tricks." Hunter raised his weapon. "It's over. Stand down." The Grand Admiral's laugh was like grinding stone. "I think not, human." What followed was a duel that would be remembered for generations. The Tellarite leader was a whirlwind of brutal strength and honed skill, his every move designed to crush and destroy. But Hunter was faster, more adaptable, his enhanced mind processing combat data at incredible speeds. They clashed again and again, the fate of 2 species hanging in the balance. Hunter took hits that would have pulverized a normal human, his reinforced skeleton and advanced healing keeping him in the fight. He gave as good as he got, exploiting every opening, no matter how small. In the end, it came down to a single moment. The Grand Admiral, frustrated by Hunter's evasions, overextended on a powerful swing. Hunter ducked under the blow and struck, a precisely targeted attack that shattered the alien's armor and sent him crashing to the ground. Before the Tellarite could recover, Hunter was on him, weapon pressed to his head. "Call off your forces, now." The Grand Admiral's eyes burned with hatred, but he recognized defeat. With a growl, he activated the fleet-wide comm. "This is Grand Admiral Vox. All ships, stand down. The day is lost." Hunter wasted no time. He shoved the alien aside and took control of the command systems. With Zara's help, he initiated a complete shutdown sequence for the entire Tellarite armada. Across the battlefield, Tellarite ships began to power down, their weapons falling silent. The combined human and Astrian forces quickly overwhelmed the remaining resistance. As the realization of victory began to sink in, Hunter allowed himself a moment of reflection. They had done it. Despite the challenges, humanity had survived and triumphed. His comm unit crackled to life once more. "Sergeant Hunter," Colonel Graves's voice came through, filled with a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. "Status report." Hunter looked out at the sea of disabled Tellarite ships, then back at his team, human and Astrian alike, battered but unbowed. "Mission accomplished, sir," he replied. "We've got control of the Tellarite command ship. The invasion force is neutralized." There was a moment of stunned silence before Graves spoke again. "Well done, Sergeant. Well done indeed. Bring our people home." As Hunter began coordinating their return to Earth, he couldn't help but feel that this victory was just the beginning. Humanity had not only survived an alien invasion, but had emerged stronger, with new allies and advanced technology at their disposal. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now seemed to beckon, and Hunter, along with the rest of humanity, stood ready to answer their call.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.